Evolution or escalation? Today we have the ROG Falchion from Asus. It's a compact 65% mechanical keyboard for gamers, and I've already tested the original Falchion before, so today we're going to check the Falchion ACE, see what's new about it, and if it can justify the naming ACE. So welcome back to TechPoint, I'm glad you're here. This is the ROG Falchion ACE, as I said before, and the Falchion ACE is supposed to be some sort of a cheaper version of the original ROG Falchion. Although this time around it's not wireless anymore, and to be honest, I don't understand why would you want to give up on hot swap sockets. I get it, you can give up on wireless, it will cost you less to produce this keyboard, but hot swap, to me, it's super basic, and I really love hot swap keyboards. It makes you experiment more, and you can pick and choose your different parts and even fix it down the line if something goes wrong. And to be honest, this keyboard is some sort of a cheaper version of the original Falchion, so I really don't get the idea behind putting ACE next to its name. To me, it should have been like the ROG Falchion Basic or ROG Falchion Raw, which is more of a correct term that, in my eyes, wouldn't misguide the consumer. And even though this keyboard is suffering from a loss of a few main features, at least in my eyes, it's gaining two nice features. First of all, we have a Type-C connection at both sides in the back of the keyboard. This lets you pick if you want to connect it from the right or from the left and give you a more clean desk setup, especially for gaming. And also it supports a connection of two different computers to each and one of those ports. Just make sure to notice there's no like a smart switching or something like that. You have a physical switch in the back and you have to actually move it in order to activate one or the other. And sadly, even though you have two different ports, once you connect one and you choose it, the other one is completely useless. You can't pass through it, you can't use it for charging, you can't use it for your mouse. It's basically dead, so it's one or the other, and that's it. So in addition to an extra USB port, Asus have done a really nice thing about this keyboard. At least in my eyes, they've added foam in the body of the keyboard, which really helps with resonance and making the feel and sound of this keyboard be much more premium and less hollow and plasticky than before. So now it's pretty good. I mean, for a plastic keyboard with a small aluminum top, this is pretty good. And now for the sound test. The rest of the stuff are pretty similar to the normal Falchion. You have the Genius touch bar on the left, which you can use to adjust volume by sliding or tapping, so it's multifunctional, and you can also map it for different functions via the Armory crate from Asus. And also it's on the left, which is also a really ergonomic feature. You have the same PBT material keycaps, which are pretty good for an OEM keyboard. The font is still heavy gamer font, I don't like it, but in general it's clear and it's really visible and legible and it's easy to read. I just don't like it that much. The PBT itself is in a pretty good quality. Obviously, for a gaming keyboard, you must have RGB backlights. The RGB is pretty good, the color accuracy is great and vibrant. And last but not least, you have the ROG NX switches. These are custom Asus switches, which I've tested before in the original Falchion. It was the red linear version, which I really liked. But these are the brown tactile ones, and usually I'm a sucker for tactile switches. I really like tactile switches, and I have a Boba U4s in my QK65 and they sound and feel amazing. But these ones I really dislike. Well, yeah, they have a nice weight and they have a great tactile point. I mean, they feel great in their tactility, but they're extremely scratchy, and they're more like a Cherry MX tactile switch, and I think we moved past this. So if by any chance you're thinking of getting the Falchion ACE, then go for the reds. Don't go for the browns. They really don't feel that good. So let's talk about stabilizers. The stabilizers here are Co-Star stabilizers. Asus didn't change their approach to stabilizers, and Co-Star are pretty okay for people that don't want to do any modding. They usually sound fine from the factory, and these are even lubed, and you can see and hear mostly that it's not lubed evenly across the board. The space, which is mostly the problematic key, it sounds pretty good. But the backspace, for example, which is a smaller key, it has a bit of rattle in it, and I think Asus could have done a much better job with lubing the Co-Star stabilizers, especially when they don't really expect you to open this keyboard and do any modifications. And not to forget, you also get the braided cable with this keyboard, the Type-C braided cable. It can also work with custom cables, no problem. And you also get this cool case slash tray that you can put the keyboard in. I think putting it in this as a tray is kind of useless, but using this as a cover, like a dust cover, is pretty nice. I would really get rid of this if it would save me like 10 or 15 bucks on the keyboard price. But yeah, here you go, that's Asus for you. And in short, we have a pretty nice 65% layout keyboard. It's basic, it does everything that it's supposed to do, and to be honest, I really don't know what's the price of this keyboard is going to be, but you obviously have a lot of great options out there in the market, like the Keychron V2, which is a basic custom keyboard model from Keychron, and it has wireless, it has RGB, it has everything basically, and hot swap obviously, and it costs you just around 100 bucks. So relative to the Keychron, which is a very nice model, I wouldn't recommend this keyboard in more than around 80 to 90 bucks tops, but 80 would be the sweet spot for this. And yeah, I really wanted to like this keyboard, especially for the touch bar. I think it's placed geniusly on the left side. It's so basic, but you can reach it easily while you game. I hope you like this video. We also do keyboard stuff. I have the QK75 on the way, so there's a build video for that coming soon. I would love to hear from you in the comments. What keyboard are you using now? What's your preferred switch type and size? And I'll be sure to read all of your comments. That's it for this review. I hope you enjoyed it. Peace.